Hi, this is Antonio Jimenez, author of such projects such as the Strow Devil and the SD PAK, and you are watching Coco Talk. 3, 2, go.
So let me show you guys one more thing. I want to show you something cool I just got in the mail today. Tony Jimenez from our Facebook group sent me this cool thing. It's a 3D printed case. Here on the front it says SD PAK. On the top it says Tandy. When I open this thing up, what do I see here? A whole bunch of SD cards. And what Tony came up with is a really cool thing. And this one has got Demon Attack on it, I think. So he took the cartridge labels and printed them on SD cards, and he created an SD PAK that's similar to a ROM pack. So what does that mean? What does this mean to us? How does this benefit humanity? Well, I'm going to take this little SD card here. I'm going to, as David likes me to say, I'm going to stick it in. I'm going to stick it in my Coco SDC, and when I turn on my Coco SDC, in a matter of seconds now, SD PAK, Virtual ROM Pack Loader, Antonio Jimenez, and then boom, there's Demon Attack, right? So with this whole concept now of the these little SD cards, you can now recreate the experience of a ROM pack on an SD card, because all you need is that
startup.cfg.
Startup.cfg, right? So you have a startup.cfg file on the SD card to tell it what disk to auto mount. It'll then auto mount a disk image. On that disk image, you have a basic file that you name autoexec.bas, B-A-S. And in that autoexec.bas file, you write a little mini basic program telling it what binary file to load, what disk image to load and execute. And so this is a way to make a self-booting, self-executing floppy drive off of an SD card, which is the next best thing to making your own auto boot ROM cartridges, right? It's a really cool project. And so he's gone through and he's got a website, which is really cool too. I'm going to show you that real quick. So his website, if you just go to sdpak.com, he's going to explain to you how this project works, and he's going to explain to you what he did and all the trouble he went through to figure this stuff out. So he's talking about the history of how we used to load games, or what are our choices to load software on the Coco. Well, one option was a cassette, which takes a long time. One option is a ROM pack, which is instant loading. And then there was a floppy drive, which is a nice compromise. However, floppy drives cost a lot of money, and not everybody can afford a floppy now. So what do we have? Enter the Coco SDC, which is a way to boot floppy disks off an SD card. So he decided to marry these two concepts, and he's taking the ROM pack, and he created a little template where you can print these labels on a generic thing you can put on an SD card. He even tells you where to get SD cards for 99 cents off of eBay. 16 megabytes is more than you need, because what's a floppy, like 164K or something like that, David? What is
it? Roughly.
And then there's a special command you have to use to format it as the FAT file system with 1 megabyte cluster size, but he'll show you how to do that. And then so it's a whole tutorial here. It's even got some videos on how to make this work, right? And so it's a really cool project where we can basically now have an auto booting cartridge. Now this is a game that was designed for artifacting, since I'm going through RGB. It looks kind of stripy, but let me find one more game that I'm going to stick in here just for grins and giggles here. Turn it on. So SDC, look at the SDC packs. That's kind of a cool little loader he came up with, right? Cirrus, Copyright Intelligent Software, Dragon Data Limited. Okay, so it's a chess game. All right. So again, my colors are a little bit off. You might want to modify your autoexec.bas file to include the palette RGB command if you're running on a Coco 3 with an RGB monitor, just to set the color palette mode. But you can see here it loaded pretty quickly. Not exactly as quick as a real ROM pack would, but it's a matter of seconds. You could probably count those seconds on one hand, and it's cool. What do you think about that, David?
That's definitely cool.
There you go. It has the David Ladd seal of approval. And you can't ask for any more than that. So, Tony, good job. David Ladd approves. David's a big celebrity.